See if this works. No errors yet. Anything going through? Oh, there we go. Okay. Stream should now be live and working. Okay, yeah, I'm getting a preview, which is perfect. I don't know if my audio sounds any good, though, because it's not a good mic. See if I can pop this out. There we go. Should be a little quicker. Yeah, that's better. Okay. All right. Once I make sure that you can actually hear me, then I'll get started. Okay. Perfect. Okay, it seems to be working. Thank you for your patience, anyone who's here. I have just come back from a rather large, well, large isn't the word, a rather long break from this. So I had to get everything set up, and then it's my birthday today, so I am already kind of you know, not feeling the best. So I'll take what I can get. Basically, if you look at the bottom of my stream, I got today's content that's eventually going to be replaced with something else. But it's basically what I cover in the streams. So along the right side, you'll be able to see my social handles, specifically Twitter, then Steam, and then the actual website that I will be referencing. That should cover the a tour of my little stream setup. My name is Aval-dur. Welcome to DDO stream, live Tuesday, March 29th, and you are joining me in DDO-RP talk. I've really got to get a mic with a mute button on it, just in case. But right now I have Dreamweaver shared, which is what I typically use to edit the site, just about any other site. Okay, I kind of noticed, I think I have the old version of the new logo up, but I'm gonna have to dig around my files and dig around, look around my files, see if I can find the new version of that. Because it doesn't, it looks lopsided as it is right now. And it's probably because I didn't exactly take that much time to set up that logo. It's kind of hard to find a flame image that I can turn into a backdrop for text that I don't have to pay $50 for. You know, I mostly use public domain work or you know, proprietary images that match the source that I'm working on a project or whatever I'm doing for. So in this case, all my use of actual Dungeons & Dragons online media is because the only use of this site otherwise is for Dungeons & Dragons Online. At the moment, no, Clyde. I'm just covering a few things about the site that I'm working on before I actually get into how it works in-game. Because, well, number one, I've got to put out all of the plans and ideas of what I have with this site, and then I have to figure out what the actual DDO community wants out of it, or whether they even want that in the first place. I mean, I don't know if that's what they actually want, but I will end up going in game and I will show you how to set up things, and then I might get back into the Death by Dwarf stuff. I don't know. I haven't done that forever. I'm mostly kind of focusing on the RP, the website, because I am on a hiatus with my VIP. I'm free to play, so I have none of the content unlocked except for Wayloon. And, you know, that's kind of... Okay. Hopefully the lag spike's done. I don't know what that was about. You probably didn't see it, but I was getting a wicked lag spike on this end with my computer. Okay. Oh, can I resize this without it screwing up the... No, I probably can't. Just have to Alt-Tab. frequently. Okay. Because apparently the guy who I answered isn't here, so I'm gonna not wait if he had any other questions with that. But basically, I tested this stream on my private channel to make sure it would work, and now here I am. Website right now is heavily, and I apologize if that H really hurt your ears, because this mic really seems to pick up harsh letters. Here. Heavily under construction, because, well, number one, as a web designer, I'm building it from scratch. I'm not using a content management system. It's all right here. The programming and, well, markup technically. But the purpose of the community as I've set it up currently is to provide a way and a place for the RP community to get together and plan things and execute community projects, community events, stuff like that. Now, something that I've noticed a lot when browsing the web and looking things up is the RP community varies greatly from game to game. And side note, I apparently cannot type and talk at the same time. If you look on the web and you try to search for Dungeons & Dragons online roleplay community, you are not going to actually find much of anything. You're going to see a couple forum posts where people took to the D20 and paper to continue out of the game on the forums. You're going to find Roll20 or other things. You also find a forum post asking where, which server is actually the roleplay server. And that's kind of tricky because there isn't really a dedicated roleplay server with Dungeons & Dragons Online that was not originally designated, mostly because that wasn't really a thing back when DDO launched. The roleplay, the big deal with the roleplay was that it was part of the game. You were enacting a character, it wasn't actually you, thus that was considered roleplay. But now, the roleplay communities across many different games, the most notable of late having been the Elder Scrolls Online, you see people actually taking the roleplay a step further. And they not only are you playing as a character who is not yourself, you are actually putting yourself into your character. You are investing in your character, and you play them out without actually even needing to do quests. You do most of what you're doing within the context of a chat channel. And that's basically how roleplay is looked at when you are specifying roleplay versus traditional, just how the game is set up. So, what is the point of the website? Why am I working on said website? Why does it matter if we have one or not? That is where you have to look to other established communities and other established examples of how it works. I think I have my borders backwards. Sorry about that. I didn't even notice. Why didn't you tell me they were backwards? Well, none of you probably realized they were backwards. If you did, kudos. You get brownie points. But, back to what I was talking about. The actual purpose of a website to an RP community is allowing you to continue your roleplay and stuff outside of the game, which is extremely helpful when, say, like me, your subscription lapses and you do not have access to a lot of the stuff that you normally do. And it is kind of an acquired taste. It's not something everyone can get into easily, but if you play the pen and paper version of D&D, you will find it quite fun to be able to not be restricted to just questing and dungeon delving and doing the same stuff over and over and over and over again, depending on, if you've true reincarnated or not. The secondary purpose of the roleplay is that it gives people an alternative way to enjoy the game without content getting stale. Mostly because content has a knack of getting stale once you have run it 15, 20, 30 times. But you still really enjoy the game. You don't want to stop playing it. You really, it's a good game. You just want to try something different. And we can't always wait for the next actual new content pack to come out, because that only adds so much for, and the reason I put the word this way is because I see a lot of hardcore guilds in the game. I don't see as many casuals that still have yet to actually play through epic levels their first time over. Almost everyone I've run with is either running a tune that they reincarnated, or they are running a new tune, but they already have tunes that are like level 153 or 279. And so this also gives a way, coincidentally, to allow new players and old players alike to get along and do something together without there being such a massive change of stats between the two that new players, say when I was running with a group of what we call Zerg guilds, group of Zergers, I was hardly able to keep up, because what took me 10 hits to kill someone, it took them 2. So therein lies the purpose and use of what one of these sites can do. Now, the most typical setup for a site like this is a forum. You don't have that many different separate parts. It's all kept together in forum posts. Now, I'm doing this a little bit differently because the way that the internet overall has evolved and the way that RP has evolved, especially within other prominent games, the forum setup is not as ideal alone. It can't hold itself like it used to. People expect more out of the site. They expect to be able to do more. One of the features, especially that they really, really like, is being able to manage a profile on their account to show all the different characters they have, or, and their details, show off what all they've done. And a secondary thing that people absolutely love to do is show off their different achievements and badges and things that show who they are within the community. Now, of course, this does not apply to all gamers. This is not an overgeneralization. It's generalization within the RP community itself. This is not covering the whole game. But this is where the overall setup that I have here comes in. It is generally designed the same way that the official Dungeons & Dragons Online website is. And this is intentional, because when you look at DDO-RP, this is what a lot of hopefuls had considered a missed opportunity for the game. D&D is traditionally considered to be the role-playing game of your own choices, what you do matters, and people felt like that was not taken seriously originally by D&D online. I don't think this is the case. I think RP would be better if there were more emotes and the actual chat system was a little bit more customizable, but it is not as limited as a few different games that actually don't allow you to even sit, which is kind of a big deal, because, you know, sitting down as an emote is essential to RP. You can't exactly... we don't stand all the time. I mean, most people nowadays actually spend a lot more time sitting than they do standing. One of the key areas of RP and DDO is actually going to be within the tavern setting, mostly because there are a lot of wilderness areas and explorer areas, places that RP can be set up, but quite a few of them are behind that paywall for a lot of different people whose VIP runs out, and so they're going to stick to places they know that they can access. And one of the places that you have lots of variety, and yet it all feels similar enough that you can move from tavern to tavern. And then lost my train of thought. Moving on. One of the things that this game has going for it over so many others is the fact that you have so many different playable races available to you. And with the 10th anniversary this month and the release of the gnomes and the deep gnomes as a playable race, we have seen the overall completion of the traditional D&D playables, which gives lead to all of the traditional D&D roleplay. Without gnomes, we really couldn't have a true roleplay community, because they kind of feel left out. They're a classic. I played many pen and paper groups where oftentimes half the party is a gnome. I mean, that's just how it is. And so this really opens it up for people to be whoever they want to be, however they want to be. And a lot of those limits that we mentioned before no longer become limits so much as a smaller catalyst to get the same thing done. Sorry, I have a message here. Okay. Now, if you're just joining in, I am basically covering all of the basics of what the DDO-RP is for and what the purpose of using it is. Otherwise, if you're still sticking with me, which I really do appreciate for my first time back here, I am pretty close to being done actually with this, because since I still have to actually build the thing, there's not much use of me just leaving it up here. So essentially, to finish out what's actually going on with this, only the home page is done at the moment. I'm not entirely certain that the layout of these boxes is going to stay the same, because I could make more efficient use of the space, and this really does not resize well. It just doesn't. But there will be an event calendar that eventually people who actually host the events will be able to change and update as they will. And useful links will remain on the homepage here, because those are pretty vital to new RP players, because I have a feeling that most of the RP members that we're going to be getting, if we get any, if this crazy idea even works, is that we'll be bringing new blood back into the DDO community, or we might actually get people coming in who left because there just wasn't a community. Now, one of the queries that you'll find when you search on the internet for DDO roleplay is no one can find the healthy DDO-RP community. And I will simply answer, there isn't a big live DDO-RP community. It's healthy in that those few groups that actually do it are good at what they do, and they stick to what they do, and it is healthy. But you're not going to find lots of advertisement for it. You're not going to find tons of guild websites where you find that with other AAA MMOs out there right now. Consensus back in 2009 was that Thelanis was the roleplay community back then, the server known for the most actual RP guilds. I do not know if that's true anymore. I do not know just how many RP guilds there are. I am considering and seriously looking at actually going on each server and asking around. Hey Esender, how are you doing? I'm considering going around and basically surveying the communities, asking them, do you currently see these around? Would you like to see more? Is it something you're interested in? Stuff like that. I'm sorry if I slaughtered your name. I have never tried to pronounce it before. Anyway, that about covers that, I think, for the most part. Yeah. I have no clue if I'm going to be able to find anyone online who is going to be able to who's going to want to even actually do an example of how RP works within the game. So, well, at least today. So I might just end up logging on and doing random stuff. But, one second. No, that might be my end. I'm not entirely sure, because this is not a very good mic. The mic within my actual headset is broken, so that's why I'm not using a real headset. I'm using earbuds and a microphone. I'm kind of looking at my audio output right now, and it looks like it's just kind of refusing to raise the... I don't know, it's picking it up normal. I don't know why it's... it's not the best mic. I mean, you can kind of see it's just tiny little end here. Probably help if I had a foam thing on the end of it. Let's change that around a little bit. Yeah, it's a weird mic. I don't know. Don't have any money for a new one, so I just kind of stick with what I have. Yeah, I don't have any actual levels to play with. Not giving me any. Lag. What the heck's going on? Must be my adapter. Let me check that setting. Yeah, it must be the fidelity within my adapter is wrong. I'm actually doing this off of a laptop that does not have a microphone jack, so I had to get a USB adapter. And the adapter has broken a couple times. So, there you go. Now, anyway, the reason that I went with a site from scratch and not using a host service like Engine or Shifter is mostly because I don't foresee getting donations to keep a site alive. I don't see community funding the site working because the site community would not be that big. The game community already is smaller than a lot of the other sites have to work with. So I've got to kind of try to set it up to cater to what I think is going to be needed or to what I think is going to be used. Something in my eye. Okay. Anyway, that's basically how that works. Now, see if I can't switch what program I'm using without it breaking. Apparently it won't let me. Okay. I'm gonna have to get the people who I had talked to about actually doing this to figure out a time that we might be able to actually give an example. Maybe do it in a stream or something for you guys. Of course, you know, it's not easy getting a group of people together to do that on a Tuesday morning. Anyway, I have been working on this project with the DDO wiki go-to know-all Shoemaker Technical 13 and community manager Cordovan, both giving me feedback on the overall design, the aesthetics, usability of what it actually looks like. I'm going to need community feedback as well so that I know if the overall thing is going to be used, if anyone even wants to use it, or if I should stick to independent, custom user-generated channels on each server. Of course, that requires me rolling up characters on every server to manage things and logging in frequently on every server, which is a bit more difficult, but it is something I can manage. It all basically comes down to what you guys actually want to do. I do have, if I can grab the URL here, a Steam group for this. Where's the URL here? Page URL. Because I really should include that on this. Move that there. Text. There we go. Should anyone actually want to join that group to help me get feedback and set things up, make sure it's all working as intended, that's where you can go. Mostly because the forums are not set up on the actual website at this time. That is a big project to actually get set up to a point where it can work. Isender, if you're still with me, it might be because my microphone is a lower quality one. I have had problems in the past. I've looked up that people with lower set voices were not picked up. These mics are intended for the louder, higher voices with athletics, is what I found. Usually they would hook this up to a wireless router sort of thing on their belt that would transmit it to the loudspeaker. It's not intended for recording. The lighting is really yellow. I don't know what's wrong with my cam. Yeah, next time, I don't know, I might end up just switching to using my the camera built into my laptop. Mostly because it does record a lot better. The only thing I don't like about it is that it picks up the fan. You know, that depends on how loud the fan decides to run at that particular time. Okay. Now, as per the beyond feedback, that's everything I have for DDO-RP. Now, I had previously hosted a stream called Death by Dwarf. I think I only actually got 3 streams live before I had to drop it due to other things. But I am looking to pick that back up as well. I just don't know how I actually want to do it because I don't have that VIP to actually unlock stuff to do when I'm streaming. Like, I could do it as sort of a poor dwarf's guide to Eberron. Going around doing only the stuff that he can afford to pay taxes on. You know, funny stuff like that. It all depends on what I think I can figure out. It's just kind of tricky trying to figure stuff out when I don't have optimal equipment. Because right now, yeah, I'm probably going to end up having to switch back to the onboard mic because according to OBS and my computer settings, the mic is maxed out. So this is as loud as I get. Unless, I start yelling. I'm not going to do that. And apparently DDO doesn't want to launch. So probably running too much at once. I think that's all I really have in terms of DDO-RP. The only things that I need feedback on are, well, I say only, but they're big deals. I need to know overall if the website is something that would be utilized or if I should stick to some sort of subcategory on the official forums. Now, depending on that answer, I would need to know if a chat room would be desired on the site that would work as a live messenger versus the forum format. The purpose of the chat room being that you can quick pop in, see who else is in, and see if you can get something going so that you know if you have to log into the game or not to continue doing what you're doing or to start doing something. And then I would need to know if a gallery would be desired for people to be able to share their photos and screenshots from events. And I would also need to know if and how advanced a possibly desired profile system would need to be, because I could make that quite extensive. I could have it so that you could put up to 12 characters on your profile, and then you could switch. I could even have more than that. I mean, I know people buy extra slots, and then with the VIP they could end up with like 15. But I can set that up for people to have characters on their profile based on server, so they could change which servers they're active one, so that people would see different characters for different servers. I could set it up so that you could see all three, up to 3 class mixes with what that character is. Have a flag on it for epic level or not. There's a lot I can do with it. There's no limit with building it from scratch. You have no limits on how advanced of a site you can make. Now, along with this, lose my train of thought. Along with this, I am working on the wiki with Technical 13. I am trying to get some stuff with the wiki done, DDO wiki, primarily in helping with updates to it. I have been able to get a couple of docents updated, their docent item pages, but I am considering next week maybe, because I have some other things to get done here once I'm done here today. Doing some DDO Wiki noob talk. See if I can update things without totally screwing up what I'm doing. Trying to figure out how to add stuff to the wiki, edit stuff, update stuff. Just to see how funny that might be, because you know, it's kind of fun to laugh at people when they can't figure out what they're doing. Beyond that, once I figure out what I want to do with the actual playing stream, I'll have to figure out what server I'm going to be on, what build I'm going to do. You know, stuff like that makes me miss the casual days back a couple of years ago when I first started playing. I didn't really care what I was doing. I just rolled something up and, yeah, let's do that. Started running with elitists and stuff like that, and now I actually care what my build is and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm seeing that on my mic. The S's and breaths are being picked up weird. I'm also seeing quite a bit of background noise. Is that any better? I had mentioned earlier, I don't know if you were here. Yeah, it's not a good headset. It's frustrating. I had a decent, what's the name of it? It's not course, it's, Sadie's. I had a Sadie's headset, but the microphone on that died within 6 months, not even. That was a glorious headset. Still plays the audio really nicely, but the microphone is horrible. Is that any better? Yeah, I used to have an actual, you know, the foam sort of cover things, and it just kind of died. I had to take it off. Basically, I got this one. This one was free because I won it in a raffle. Kind of sad, I know, but joys of being a college student, you can't exactly get new technology stuff on the fly when you really want it. So I think if I look at this, yeah, this is um, I wonder if I open up my browser and I send a message here. You can't see my screen, but this is well, you can't see this part of the screen, but that's okay. I might be able to do a small giveaway here for you guys putting up with my horrible tech. Probably a mini stalker pet code or something like that. Probably can't give you the key today if Cordovan's busy, but I don't know. He probably would have me get the email from you or something to, or your Twitch ID is what it would be. Okay, alt-tabbing back. You blew up my chat, Will. Will from Deboot. Why is that familiar? That sounds familiar and I don't know why. Probably just seen you around the streams. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've seen you around the thing then, for sure. The chat feed, because I've been watching DDO stuff forever, and I've only really started seriously playing and then streaming this past year, last November. Okay, let's alt-tab again. Ugh. Stalker alert. Oh, okay. Yeah, Iraqi veteran. That's always thank for your service. My health was not the best, so I debated. I wasn't really able to enlist, but I still help out. I play taps for military funerals. I volunteer frequently in the local area at the VFW. Okay, I'll tab back again. I should really write a program for this giveaway sort of thing. Oh yeah. Yeah. Can't even imagine how that would be tough. I know you probably hear a lot of the, talking to you, Will, hear a lot of the, oh yeah, I'm sorry, all that stuff, but it's just, I find myself speechless quite often, and just all I can do is nod my head in silence to you guys, because respect and silence with, you just can't imagine how that would be, how taxing, painful on the mind and soul that is. Exactly. Exactly. If you actually went through the struggle and the pain, you don't brag about it. It's not something you brag about. Can't say from experience, of course, but yeah. Let's look at the community list here. Here it is. Okay. Well said. That's all I can say. Okay. Let's see here. Let me switch this over to okay. Change this over to properties. No, this to because this is all I have right now. I don't have anything better. Yeah, we all woke up today. That's really nice. You have no idea how angry I would have been if I didn't wake up today. I turned 20 today. I would have been very angry. Okay. So for all you guys watching and happily, thankfully, I don't know if it's happily. I mean, you could complain all you want, but everyone who's here, shout out one number from 1 to 20. Anyone else? Anyone else have a number? Anyone at all? I've never seen that before. Could always try to get their attention, you know, just anyone there? I haven't done that in forever. I did that on Skype once, and it scared the living daylights out of the guys who I was talking to. They were like, what? I'm like, you're not listening to me. The angry game face. nothing compared to Angry Joe. Oh my gosh. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's all. He is a great, great YouTuber, but I feel like all I could stream well is anger, but even that's, oh, oh, ouch, ow. I wonder if we could equate that to someone in DDO. Who would you sound like in DDO? Who would you RP as in DDO? With a voice like Satan. Probably a beholder. No. No. That's obviously what Dirk sounds like. Dirk the Deranged. I didn't even know Wizards of the Coast had this. That's probably why the latest copyright's 2005. Alright. Only happen once this lifetime. Watch, and then we'll both show up next Tuesday, and we'll do it 3 times. I am streaming to you live from Central Wisconsin. So exciting. Yeah, I think the temperature right now outside is... It's 45 degrees, but this morning it was like 35, something like that. Okay, most of us don't have that in central Wisconsin. That is far northern and far southern, actually, that have the really bad accents. The far northern have the Uber accent, and then the far southern have the Chicago accent. Well, that's probably just me. I've never really had a cultural accent because I took a lot of different language classes. I mean, people around here you expect to be like cartoon or video game characters with some of those voices, it's accents. Actually, I wonder how does this show up in my browser? That doesn't look that bad in the browser. Teacher from South Park. Yeah, I could believe that. But yeah, basically at some point the forums are going to be live, working. Cross my fingers that I actually make it work. The URL is www.ddo-rp.ga. The reason it's a .ga is because I'm using a free domain host at the moment because all my money is going to tuition. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to actually reserve a .com or a .net. Then Steam community link is www.ddo-rp.ga. Yeah. Hopefully when I get the mic fixed or replaced or something, then you'll be better able to understand me. Typos everywhere. And my phone's lighting up because it's my birthday. But if you guys want to, feel free to follow me on Twitter, or add me on Steam, or both, if you guys want to. I mean, I don't stream a lot otherwise, because my internet at home is like this. The internet at home is like this. That's the best way I can put it without swearing. No, you don't need to make a Twitter. Believe it or not, I am 20 years old, and I didn't actually have a Twitter until I actually needed one. Like, legitimately needed one. When my school stopped putting updates for certain things on their website, and they moved to Twitter. Then somehow I have 33 followers. And I'm not entertaining or anything. Like, I was stuck in such a derp phase for how long was that? 10 seconds? 15? Anyway. '20th birthday, might as well roll a d20. It's the 29th, so 29 minus 20 is 9. Excuse me. That was apparently a stretching sound. Way back before my time, right? Yeah. My gosh. I have only played tabletop once. And that was last year, 3.5 edition. And my mic moved over. Okay, Mr. Will from Deboot. I should say that with an accent. Mr. Will from Deboot. You're the only one who popped out a number for me. So you, sir. I can't find my stuff. Let me fix this. Why is that broken? What's going on? There it is. Okay. Unless anyone else pops a number in here for me. Will, I think you popped a 16 in. Okay. Then, going once to post a number. Going twice to post a number between 1 and 20. Going 3 times to post a number between 1 and 20. As we have no takers. Will, you rolled a 16. And according to the D&D roller, with a modifier of 9 in commemoration of my birthday, because, you know, it totes needs commemorating, you get a 19. You are the closest without going over. Thusly, you, sir, get a free invisible mini-stalker pet. Just private message me on Twitch with your server and character name. And I will get those to Cordovan so he can mail it to you. Or give it to you. I don't know if he actually mails it or gives it. Yeah, no prob. You put up with this mess today. Let's see here. No. Internet, don't die. Oh, okay. Never mind. I can apparently get it to myself. Okay. Oh, DDO stream, that must be you, Cordovan. Yeah. Despite my mic problems, it's been going pretty good today. The internet change, I think, is what made the difference. Let me see here. Where's my... I've got too many windows open. Okay, you're on Sarlona. Cool. I think that's the only server I don't have a character on. I think. Yeah, I think that's the only server I don't have characters on. Let me close this chat quick. Switching. I cannot see your messages at the moment. Twitch.tv/ hide preview. Wait for it. ashamed. I danced in my chair. No. You can what me again now? I can you again now. Oh, here. Wait, you couldn't hear me? What happened? That's not good. Why couldn't you hear me? That's not good. Oh, hey, my stream configuration quality is excellent. Yay! Whisper. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. Wait for it. My internet is lagging a bit because of the stream at the same time, so. Come on. Come on. What's going on? Sorry, I'm trying to trying to figure this out here. My Twitch is being twitchy. Will, can you excuse me, can you try sending a PM to me? My handle is this. Of course, since I just posted it, you could click my name and try sending me a whisper. Okay. I gotta end the stream here for now because I am overflowing a little bit into DDO-RP, which I am really sorry if you are in here seeing me. I did not foresee some of these issues, and I Central Time, so I kind of underestimate the time of what it is. It's 11:12 here instead of just past noon, so that's my bad. I will see all of you guys next week Tuesday on same channel, twitch.tv/DDO stream, and I will hopefully have something more exciting for you guys. Will make sure that you, well, if you can, head on over to my actual twitch.tv/Aval-dur_game, and I will be streaming over there so I can get you all set with your giveaway item. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully next time I will have a little bit better time for you guys. I will see you next week.